August 2003, Las Cruces, New Mexico. A college party winds down late at night. Music fades. Friends say their goodbyes. A 22-year-old student begins walking home a short distance she had traveled many times before. She never makes it. Within hours, a desperate search begins, and a case that would later change American law forever. Before we begin, please like this video, subscribe to Crime Shadows here, and comment below which country you're watching from. Let's uncover the truth together. Katie Sepich was a 22-year-old graduate student at New Mexico State University in Las Cruces. She was intelligent, ambitious, and full of curiosity. Katie was pursuing a master's degree in biology with hopes of building a career in science and research. Education was deeply important to her, and she worked hard to achieve her goals, earning the respect of both classmates and professors. Originally from Carlsbad, New Mexico, Katie came from a close-knit and supportive family. Her parents described her as compassionate, energetic, and determined, someone who embraced life with enthusiasm. She loved spending time with friends, attending social gatherings, and exploring new experiences while balancing the demands of graduate school. Friends remembered Katie as outgoing and warm-hearted. She had an infectious laugh and a natural ability to make people feel comfortable around her. Whether studying late at night, enjoying outdoor activities, or simply relaxing with friends, Katie brought positivity wherever she went. Beyond academics, Katie valued relationships deeply. She stayed closely connected with her family and maintained strong friendships, always offering encouragement and support to those around her. She represented the optimism and independence of a young woman working toward a bright future. Katie's life was filled with promise, dreams, and opportunities yet to come. She was building a future defined by knowledge, compassion, and ambition, a future that was tragically cut short, but one that would later inspire lasting change and justice through her enduring legacy. During the summer of 2003, Katie Sepich was entering an exciting new chapter of her life. She was preparing to begin graduate school at New Mexico State University while balancing work, friendships, and campus activities. Katie was an active member of a sorority, where she built strong social connections and was known for her outgoing personality and positive energy. To support herself financially, Katie worked as a waitress, juggling long shifts with academic responsibilities. Despite the busy schedule, she maintained an active social life and was rarely without a smile. Friends described her as fearless, fun-loving, and full of life, often calling her a ball of fire because of her vibrant spirit and enthusiasm. At the time, Katie had been dating her boyfriend, Joe, for about 8 months. While they shared many good moments together, the relationship had begun facing tension. Joe was preparing to move away, while Katie was focused on starting graduate school, creating uncertainty about their future together. Still, Katie remained hopeful and focused on her goals. During Labor Day weekend in 2003, Katie went out with Joe, her roommate Tracy, and several friends for a night of bar hopping before attending a house party in Las Cruces. The evening started normally, filled with music, laughter, and celebration. However, tensions rose when Katie reportedly saw Joe kissing another woman at the party. Witnesses later confirmed that an argument followed, leaving Katie visibly upset. Around 3 a.m., Katie left the party alone. She left behind her phone, purse, and keys, and her car remained parked outside the house. Believing she had simply walked home to cool off, Joe and a friend even drove around using Katie's car, assuming she was safely asleep at her apartment. But Katie never returned home. As hours passed without any contact, worry quickly turned into fear. When she failed to reappear or respond to friends, Katie was officially reported missing, marking the beginning of a tragic investigation. After Katie Sepich was reported missing, investigators quickly returned to her home searching for answers. What they discovered immediately raised alarm. Near the back of Katie's residence, officers noticed clear signs of a struggle. A window appeared damaged, gravel on the ground was disturbed, and one of Katie's sandals lay abandoned outside. These details suggested that she had likely encountered someone shortly after arriving home and that the situation had turned violent. Only hours later, the investigation took a devastating turn. Katie's body was discovered at an isolated old dump site near Las Cruces, New Mexico. She was partially clothed, and investigators observed disturbing evidence at the scene. Her back and shoulders showed burn injuries, and her legs had been deliberately positioned, indicating an attempt by the killer to stage or conceal the crime. Tire tracks found nearby suggested the body had been transported and dumped from a pickup truck, reinforcing the belief that Katie was killed elsewhere before being moved to the remote location. The autopsy confirmed investigators' fears. Katie had been sexually assaulted and strangled. Evidence showed that a liquid had been poured over parts of her body and set on fire, likely in an attempt to destroy forensic evidence. Despite this, crucial proof remained. Bloody DNA was recovered from beneath her fingernails, indicating a fierce struggle as Katie fought back against her attacker. Her watch and rings were missing, suggesting possible robbery or an effort to mislead investigators. Detectives concluded that the murder likely occurred close to Katie's home, marking the beginning of a long and complex search for her killer. In the early stages of the investigation into the murder of Katie Sepich, detectives focused on those closest to her, a standard procedure in homicide cases. Attention quickly turned toward Katie's boyfriend, Joe. Earlier that night, witnesses had seen the couple arguing at a party after Katie discovered him kissing another woman. Because of the public confrontation and the timing of her disappearance, investigators initially considered him a possible suspect. Suspicion increased when Joe hesitated to provide a DNA sample during the early investigation. However, after further cooperation and forensic testing, his DNA did not match the evidence recovered from the crime scene. Surveillance footage and witness statements confirmed the argument but ultimately supported his account of events, leading investigators to officially clear him. Meanwhile, detectives explored other possible connections. Investigators examined similarities between Katie's murder and a previous violent attack involving two men in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Composite sketches were created, suspects were arrested, and convictions were secured in that separate case. Despite early speculation, authorities later confirmed there was no connection between those crimes and Katie's murder. With leads collapsing and no matching suspect identified, the investigation began to stall. A 23-year-old man named Gabriel Avila broke into a student apartment in Las Cruces. He was arrested but released on bail before fleeing to Mexico, delaying further investigation. In 2005, Avila was captured and returned to the United States, where he was convicted for burglary. During processing, authorities collected his DNA sample as part of routine criminal procedure. That sample would later produce a crucial match. Forensic analysts confirmed that Avila's DNA matched the evidence found at Katie Sepich's crime scene, finally identifying the killer after years without answers. Investigators also discovered that Avila had no known relationship with Katie or her social circle, confirming that the attack had been random and opportunistic. After DNA evidence linked him to the murder of Katie Sepich, investigators confronted Gabriel Avila with overwhelming forensic proof. During questioning, Avila confessed to the crime and described a chilling sequence of events. He claimed that on the night of the murder, he was driving his pickup truck when he nearly struck Katie as she walked near her home. According to his statement, he offered her a ride, but she refused. He then noticed her struggling outside her residence and took advantage of the situation. Avila admitted to attacking Katie, sexually assaulting her, and strangling her during a violent confrontation. He later transported her body to a remote dumping site, attempting to destroy evidence by pouring liquid over her body and setting parts of it on fire. Investigators determined the encounter had been random, a tragic coincidence that placed Katie in the path of a dangerous stranger. Police confirmed there was no prior connection between Avila and Katie, reinforcing the reality that she had been targeted purely by opportunity. Formal charges were filed against Avila shortly after Christmas, a heartbreaking time for Katie's family, as it would have been her 26th birthday. In 2007, Gabriel Avila pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including first-degree murder, rape, kidnapping, and tampering with evidence. The guilty plea spared Katie's family a lengthy trial but forced them to relive painful details of the crime during sentencing. The court sentenced Avila to 69 years in prison, making him eligible for parole only after serving 30 years. During sentencing, Avila offered an apology to Katie's family. While they acknowledged his expression of remorse, they emphasized that true justice meant accountability and ensuring he could never harm another person again. The tragic murder of Katie Sepich did not end with a courtroom verdict. Instead, it sparked a powerful movement that transformed criminal justice policy across the United States. In the years following Katie's death, her parents Dave and Jan Sepich refused to let her story fade into another solved case. During the investigation, they learned a painful truth. At the time, law enforcement could only collect DNA after a criminal conviction, not at the time of arrest. This meant violent offenders could be arrested, released, and commit additional crimes before their DNA ever entered national databases. Determined to prevent future tragedies, the Sepich family began lobbying lawmakers in New Mexico to change DNA collection laws. their advocacy led to the passing of Katie's Law in 2006, requiring DNA samples to be collected from individuals arrested for violent crimes. The impact was immediate. Investigators gained a powerful new tool to identify suspects earlier, solve cold cases faster, and prevent repeat offenses. The success of the New Mexico legislation inspired similar policies nationwide. Years later, a federal version of Katie's Law was signed by Barack Obama, expanding DNA collection requirements across the country and eventually including most felony arrests by 2011. Law enforcement agencies credited the law with reopening hundreds of unsolved cases in cities like Albuquerque and Santa Fe, bringing long-awaited answers to grieving families. To continue Katie's mission, her family founded the nonprofit organization DNA Saves, dedicated to educating the public and lawmakers about the life-saving importance of DNA evidence. Katie Sepich's legacy became larger than tragedy. Her story helped reshape forensic justice, ensuring that her loss would lead to protection, prevention, and lasting change. The loss of Katie Sepich left a permanent void in the lives of those who loved her most. To her family, Katie was more than a headline or a case file. She was a daughter, a sister, and a bright young woman full of dreams and compassion. Her parents, Dave and Jan Sepich, faced unimaginable grief after learning how violently their daughter's life had been taken, yet instead of allowing tragedy to silence them, they transformed their pain into purpose. Every interview, every speech, and every law they fought for became a way to keep Katie's voice alive. The Sepich family has often said that justice alone could never heal their loss. True healing came from knowing Katie's story would protect others. Through advocacy, education, and the creation of stronger DNA laws, Katie's legacy continues to save lives, ensuring fewer families experience the heartbreak they endured. Katie is remembered not for how she died, but for how she lived, kind, intelligent, adventurous, and deeply loved by everyone who knew her. Her story stands as a reminder that one life can create lasting change far beyond tragedy. True crime stories are not just mysteries, they are real lives and real families forever changed. Behind every case is someone who mattered. If Katie's story moved you, help keep her legacy alive. Stay aware. Advocate for justice and safety in your community. Please like, subscribe, and share to help spread awareness and honor Katie Sepich's memory, because awareness can save lives, and remembering victims ensures they are never forgotten.